Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I call Mark Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too have great pleasure in rising to support the passing of the Cathedral Reinstatement Bill. Today we have come together as a House to enshrine this important piece of legislation to allow the reinstatement of the Christchurch Cathedral in the heart of Christchurch, where one has been there since 1864. I do note the extraordinary powers granted to the Minister, particularly the Orders in Council provision, and we at New Zealand First have looked at this, but we are sufficiently satisfied that them being subject to judicial review, to having a defined scope and a time frame and a sunset clause of 15 years, we are satisfied post-Dennis that all the checks and balances are in place. I would like to acknowledge that this bill has its genesis in the work done by the Honourable Jerry Brownlee and the Honourable Nikki Wagner. The Honourable Member may be saddened that she didn't get to put her name on the final bill, but her contribution is well noted and well known. And I congratulate the Honourable Dr Megan Woods for having shepherded this bill through the House, and of course as a local member in Wigram and as the opposition spokesman on earthquake recovery, she's also played a full role. I note the contribution of the Christchurch City Council yesterday. It would have been somewhat unconscionable for this House to support this project without the Council also having put their money where their mouth is and shown their support. So we welcome that as we all come together. Also, the notable local leadership has been already discussed by the past members of this House, Philip Burden and Jim Anderton, who have shown wise heads when wise heads have been needed. The officials for their work in this truncated process, I think what we've seen is the House working its best and with a degree of purpose and solidarity around this, and it was this signal that we needed to send to the people of Christchurch from this House that they had our full support, and they have certainly seen that. I also think that we need to acknowledge the submitters, and from what I've seen and read, the very pragmatic and sound contributions that we got through that. Importantly, we are also committed to funding in the form of the $10 million we've granted and the $15 million loan towards the $104 million estimated cost. There has been some resistance to this. Some of the submitters asserted that this was private property, it was a religious institution, and it was the responsibility of the church. However, this is a narrow view. This is not just bricks and mortar. This is not just a church. This is a significant and historic building that is intrinsically linked to the city of Christchurch, and anything less than a reinstatement would not have done. I would also note the tourism sector. Christchurch Airport has 8.5 million transactions or passenger arrivals every year, many of them local and international tourists. You have to have a tourism portfolio. Without the cathedral, the art centre, those great buildings, you become a bigger version of Ashburton without the airport or the university. And tourists are looking to the great tourism paradise of Otago and Southland, to the Great Lakes down there, and to the emerging powerhouses of Gore and Invercargill as they come on the tourism maps. I would also like to just salute those people that pushed back on the original decision to demolish this cathedral, and it is vindication for their tenacity, really. And while it was messy and litigious, the right decision has been arrived at, and now the ball is back in the court of the local trust to finish the job that we are giving them the opportunity here to do. Madam Speaker, with the passing of this bill, we facilitate the reinstatement of the Christchurch Cathedral to the heart of Cathedral Square, where one belongs. Future generations of New Zealanders will thank us. On behalf of New Zealand First, I commend this passing of the bill to the House.
Madam Chair. I call the Honourable Maggie Berry.
Thank you very much. Well, 'tis the